So I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was, ow, hey. So I've been trying to record this video for a while, and somebody else here has other plans for me. So I figured we'll just roll with it and talk about as much as we can with Kiki helping. Hi, do you need something? He always thinks that he needs something. So if you're new here, my name is Amanda, and I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed very young at 32, and this is my child, my very furry child, Kiki. He is almost 5 years old, and he likes to be the center of attention, if you haven't gathered already. And pretty much everywhere I go, he goes, and he's on a time crunch right now because it's about 4:30 p.m. and he usually gets a special treat around 5. And he's been pretty much determined that that is something that's going to happen. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 32 years old, and it was a complete shock to me, to my system, to my family, to my friends. You know, for the most part, I was pretty healthy. You know, I was an active person. I am vegan and I ate really well for the most part. And yeah, I mean, I worked out 5 to 6 times a week. And like, I was a gymnast. I was a runner, a dancer. I was actively training for a marathon, and I was tumbling at the trampoline park. You know, I was pretty active, and I was having some low back pain, and my primary doctor had sent me in to do an MRI. And on this MRI, there was an incidental finding of a tumor on my ovary. So I thought that I was about to be diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So I ended up seeing, a gynecologist, and after some scans and tests, it ended up just being, a dermoid cyst. So it was benign, at least for now. And I know those have a high rate of staying benign. So it was just something we needed to watch and monitor. So nothing out of the ordinary. And this was in 2018. And then she says, you really should get on my schedule for your yearly well woman's exam. And, that's never a fun appointment. And I was dreading it. But I was like, okay, I'll just do it and get it over with. She had a few months wait, so I wasn't going to be able to get in until, gosh, when was it? I think it was February. Yeah, I wasn't able to get into my appointment until February of 2019. And I remember thinking that morning, I don't really want to do this. Maybe I should cancel. And the days up to it, I kind of wanted to cancel the appointment because it is not a fun appointment to go to. And no one wants to go through that, but I knew it was important. Hey, Kiki, can you please be nice so we can tell a story? And then we can do more Kiki stories later. So I knew it was important to follow through. So I went and expected it all to be routine, like it always is. Hey. And, well, it was anything but routine. My doctor discovered a lump in my breast and asked if I knew about it. And I could tell when she was doing the exam, she was spending a lot of time on my left side. And when I kind of looked over, because I was like, okay, this is unusual. Usually it's a real quick kind of thing. She had a very concerned look on her face. And so I kind of knew deep down, something's not right. And you just kind of have that gut sinking feeling that this is probably going to be cancer. And spoiler alert, it was. But she advocated for me to go and have a mammogram done right away. So this was at the very end of February of 2019, and about a week later I was able to get in for a mammogram. And I'm really grateful she advocated for me and made sure she had an order put in and everything, because I am well below the minimum age for a mammogram. And had she not advocated for me, I probably would have been in a rough situation trying to fight to have the screening done. And I recognize that it is a privilege to be allowed to have the screening and to have a doctor that willingly advocated for me right off the bat. I know that I'm lucky there, and I am very grateful, and I don't take that for granted. But when I went in, before the appointment, people were puzzled why I was there, which is no surprise because I was 32 years old at the time. And they were just saying, oh, it's probably just a cyst. But then as soon as the imaging started coming through, the friendly, reassuring nature quickly turned into concern. And you could just tell based on facial expressions and body language, the whole vibe changed. And I got pulled in to do an ultrasound on that spot. And I could hear the technicians whispering, "This is so sad. Oh no, this is so sad." And I knew right there. I mean, they knew what they're looking at. They see hundreds of images, thousands of images. They know. The radiologist came in and she told me that I would need to have a biopsy. And I believe I had to wait about 10 days or so for this biopsy. And had the biopsy, which is a whole nother experience. So I can make little videos kind of explaining step by step the process, but this is just kind of the overarching narrative of what happened. But the biopsy was done probably, it was like the 10th or 14th of March, sometime around then. And then by March 22nd, I got a phone call Friday, like right around 5 p.m. It was probably a little after 5 p.m. My primary doctor had intercepted the results. And one of their nurses called me to tell me that it was breast cancer. I was given the incorrect diagnosis. I was made to believe that it wasn't that bad. And I remember her very vividly saying to me, "Oh, if I had breast cancer, I'd pick this one," or like, "This is the one I'd pick." Well, I wouldn't pick any. I wouldn't want breast cancer. No fun. But anyway, yeah. So I had no signs, no clue whatsoever that there was cancer growing in my body. Some women have denser breast tissue. I am one of them. And so it's kind of hard to tell like what is me and what is not me, or what is trying to kill me, I guess. So I had no clue. There was one time, probably when I was 30, 31, my mom's dog kept like focusing on one spot on my breast. And I remember making like some weird joke, "Oh, maybe I have breast cancer," or something to my mom. She's like, no, you're too young. 30-year-olds don't get breast cancer. But spoiler alert, you can. So stay on top of your screenings, and if something feels not right in your body, go get checked out, because you don't want to be me. You don't want to go through what I have gone through. So, of course, once you get diagnosed, it's very chaotic. Your whole world speeds up and slows down at the same time. It's an indescribable feeling unless you've been pretty much faced with life or death. And there's just so much uncertainty because, you know, in so many ways I felt like my whole world was just beginning and it was going to be taken away. Like I was finally like, you know, you finally feel you're good with who you are. You're happy with who you are. You're growing as a person. You feel content, and then wham, something like this happens to you. It was hard, and you know, it's still not easy some days. So I had to go through so many tests, so many scans, so many procedures. I had to go through chemotherapy, I had surgery, I had radiation, and I'm still on treatment to this day. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, but if you're interested in hearing more, I will share more in depth my story, and hopefully Kiki will behave himself, and if not, hopefully he'll just provide some comedic relief to you all. Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for today, and thanks for listening in, and I hope that this helps somebody. And if you know someone who's going through breast cancer, or you are going through breast cancer yourself, you are not alone. And if you want, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle on there is My Love Letter to Life. I'll link everything in the description below. But I have resources there. You know, I share my experience, my life after cancer, and I have some little projects that I'm working on. And Kiki, if you want to follow him, he's on Instagram as Kiki the Meow. You can find him through my Instagram. And drop some questions in the comments below if you have some, and I can make a video in the future addressing some of your questions about breast cancer and pretty much anything you have about it. And stay tuned for future videos. I'm going to share more about the experience of having breast cancer and my life after cancer. So pretty much all things related to cancer, all things related to being an athlete dealing with breast cancer. So if you like gymnastics and CrossFit and weightlifting and triathlon and running and dance and all that great stuff, I'm going to be sharing more of that with you all, and Kiki as well, because he is hysterical. Well, have a great day. Don't forget to sparkle love wherever you go, and don't forget to tell people how much they mean to you, because in a moment everything can change. So we'll talk soon. Bye for now.